Welcome everybody to the Rec Room Podcast. I'm gonna get this music queued up. Then we're gonna get started. Gotta wait for the fellas to join the room.
Yo.
T Streets, what's good?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Try to load this music up real quick. Boom, got that. And there we go.
It's that time again.
It's that time, bruh. How your week been going so far?
It's been going pretty smooth. How about yours?
It's been all right, dog. I think I got like a little sinus thing. Not an infection, but I've been stuffy. Probably get hit in my voice. I'm trying to talk clear, but I've been super stuffy, bro. Like, super. But other than that, same old same, man. Same old same. Ready to get into this part. I'm used to next should be AG.
Yeah, he should be next.
And
we'll
then
see if Trey want to beat him in today or not.
Upload. Hold on. Here we go. Boom. Invite Trey.
Come on, man.
Boom.
Come on, man.
Put that in there.
Uh-oh.
What's good with you?
Fernando.
What's up, Playboy? Hey, bro, the last 15 minutes of my life was like the last 15 minutes of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You feel me? I had to do a lot of things to make sure I was on here on time. You feel me?
Well, we appreciate that, bro.
I had to drop off kids from practice. I had to do like 25 things. You know what I'm saying?
You here though? You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
All that matters.
We hit, and I beat AG, who's currently on the beach at an undisclosed location.
AG,
hey,
what it do?
I'm not dropping that pen. What's going on, E? What's going on, Trey? What's going on, T Streets?
What up?
What
How's
up,
everybody
y'all?
doing this Friday evening?
We here.
Everybody
We
good, man.
Beautiful
Y'all
thing,
ready to get into it?
Man,
honey.
Yes,
come
sir.
on, bro. You already know that.
Hey,
do
Trey,
this, baby.
I was waiting. I thought you was gonna hit us with the I know you ain't asked me that. You ain't got one of them.
Hey, listen. Hey, whoa. First of all, it's too early for that. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. You just run the show. You don't run my segment. You're not gonna start running my segment.
Hilarious.
Feel me? It's coming. It's coming.
All right, let me start this music, man. So, man, I want to welcome everybody to the Rec Room Podcast. This is our 13th episode.
Nice.
We in the teens now, which is dope. You got me as your host. We got AG.
The one and only.
We got T Streets.
Yep.
And we got Trey Philando.
That'd be me.
Hey.
And this is the Rec Room Podcast, man. And today's episode is called "A Come Up." And everybody is trying to make a come up, including us. So it's fitting for the pod.
That's fitting.
And have y'all been keeping up? Well, have y'all been keeping up with the playoffs, the NBA playoffs? Anybody?
Yeah, man. I'm nervous, man. Tonight, man. My Warriors gotta win, man.
They just like the challenge. That's all.
Then let me ask you something, Trey. How long you been a Warriors fan? I'm just curious.
Since 2012.
Okay.
Actually, it's before. Yeah, 2012. It was 2 years before they started to get good.
Okay.
Right. So I wanted Steph Curry to actually go to the Knicks in the draft, but he went to the Warriors. So I'll sit up and I'll watch him get smoked, and then I was like, they about to start cooking. Then they fired the black man. You feel me? Right before they started to get cooking, they fired the black man. Then we going on a run. We still going on a run. Warriors tonight. Warriors gonna win tonight. Come on.
All right, that's a bet. So I'm gonna give some updates to the current game. So for anybody who doesn't know, the NBA right now are currently it's playoff time, right? And so Golden State, which is Trey's team, they won this series versus Sacramento, which had a very young team. They barely got past. I actually wanted them to lose, but they won. You know what I mean? And then the Lakers beat Memphis Grizzlies 4-2 in their series. And what was crazy about that series is that Memphis got a player named Dylan Brooks, who was pretty decent, but he run his mouth a lot. And I can't remember if we talked about this on the last part of that, but what I do know is he did make a comment after the first game because they won the first game, and he was saying basically that LeBron was old and kind of being a little disrespectful. And now he's out of a job, right? Now, me personally, I don't think that he lost his. I don't think the Memphis Grizzlies got rid of him because of what he said about LeBron. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. What y'all think?
I doubt it.
Yeah,
They just don't want to sign him back.
Last pod, I said my condolences.
You did say that
because
did,
I knew what was going to happen. Because you know what, as much as I give people a hard time for having beta male tendencies, a good homie LeBron James actually showed alpha maleism. So I knew that's sometimes people need to be reminded.
Did you say LeBron? Did you say LeBron
the James?
Come on,
LeBron the James.
Come on, man, like
it's
that,
like, look,
bro. That's the GOAT.
Hey, listen, I would say this. I think Golden State's going to win only because it's too easy to win. When you get so used to winning, it's not even a challenge.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So you just gotta let them come up and then be like, "Oh no, you guys are done. You're not gonna do anything this year," and then they just start splashing on them.
So you got them beating the Lakers, basically.
100%, man. 100%. It's too easy. It's
like
us and the other pods. We kill pods for fun. You know what I mean? It's like it's too easy. As my man Trey always says, it's too easy. Too easy. You got to make it hard on yourself just to kind of give them a fighting chance a little bit. But I digress.
Yeah. All right, so now this is the on the East. Philly beat Brooklyn 4-0 in the first round, and then Boston won 4-2 in the first round. Congratulations to Joel Embiid. He won the NBA MVP. It was controversial last year because Jokic from Memphis. No, not from Memphis.
Denver.
From the Denver Nuggets. He won it 2 years in a row, and I think it could have went either way last year. So I'm happy that Embiid got it this year.
Jokic is nasty, bro.
He is though. I was watching the game the other day. He a beast. I gotta give credit where credit due. And the Knicks won their series versus Cleveland 4-1. I definitely didn't think that they would beat them 4-1. That surprised me. And Miami won their series versus Milwaukee. Which has surprised me too, 4-1, because even when Antetokounmpo, I said it right. Even when he was hurt for one of the games, he came back. And for those who don't know, he's like the main player, one of the biggest stars in the NBA. And even though he came back to Milwaukee, they still lost the series. Man, they got punished kind of like.
They just fired their coach.
Butler.
They just fired their coach.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Oh, they did? They let him go? I ain't see that.
Well, it just came over like 10 minutes ago.
Whoa.
Just reporting. And he's pretty decent with the info, man. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all about who wants it the most, though, man. And
it is.
They need to hire Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson need to be their coach.
I know. I think he a little blackball, right? That's what it seemed like. But Phoenix beat keep it in the West. Well, back to the West. Phoenix wins their first round series 4-1 versus the Clippers, and Denver wins 4-1 versus Minnesota. And now Denver is up 2-0. So Denver's playing Phoenix. For those who don't, know, Kevin Durant got traded to the Phoenix Suns late in the year, and so it's him, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul. They got the three-headed monster, but they don't really have a bench. And they've been taking, and I think they're going to lose the series. And and this is so right now, let's get predictions real quick. Everybody get one prediction. I think Phoenix Suns are going to lose to Denver.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's possible.
We all going to give a prediction on, you get one team to pick. Got you. Who you think going to win the NBA championship? I'm going with the Denver Nuggets.
Wow.
AG.
Okay.
Oh, T, who you got?
Yeah, let T jump in.
Well,
come on, T. Give me some.
Before the playoffs started, I picked Phoenix. I picked Phoenix because of Kevin Durant. Now, my team, or kind of my team, I don't have a basketball team, but if somebody was my team, it would be the Denver Nuggets. I want Denver to go all the way. I want them to win. But since I picked Phoenix from the beginning, I'm going to stick with them, even though I don't want them to beat Denver.
Oh, you sticking with Phoenix?
Hey, I'm not going to switch up. I said it already on the pod.
True.
Bold.
True. AG, who you got?
So I thought the Bucks were going to get it, even though I enjoy Miami. I love Miami's always the underdog. I'm a Pat Riley fan. I like how they move. Honestly, I really don't know right now. Like I'm just watching the fireworks. I genuinely don't. It can go either way. Like I didn't think Phoenix was going to be down to the possibility of being swept.
That's the fun part.
They have possibility of being swept. And the Celtics were supposed to be the team.
The Celtics shaky, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, there's no clear favorites. Like it's actually the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's one of the first times where nobody knows who's going to win. You know,
I know who's going to win.
Either way. Who's that? Let's go to Trey.
That boy, Stephen.
Hey.
I knew you was going with them. They the obvious pick. I just, they feel like, to me, I feel like they like the New England Patriots. Like, they got enough chips, man. They got enough chips. They got enough chips.
Winners win. It's what they do.
They got enough chips, man. So you going with them. All right, that's a bet.
With that boy Stephen. But listen, if Denver makes it to the finals, I'm definitely going to root for them. Unless they play the Knicks. If they play the Knicks, I'm going with the Knicks.
Yeah, Knicks can get out of this round. I mean, I could see it happening. Now, I know y'all probably I know y'all watch football, so the NFL just had their what do you call draft, the NFL draft, right? And I'm not gonna go over all the picks. I actually don't have any. I don't know if T Street's got like the first 10 or not, right?
Yeah. We got okay. The first pick in the draft, we have Bryce Young out of Alabama quarterback Bryce Young out of Alabama going to Carolina.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick.
Second pick of the draft, we have C.J. Stroud, quarterback out of Ohio State, going to the Houston Texans. The third pick, Houston Texans traded back up in the draft. I think they came from like 12 or 13.
12 down to 3. That was crazy.
Yeah, to come back up to 3, and they pick Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, outside linebacker. Now, 2 of the first 3 picks from Alabama. It's a theme.
Yeah, you know how
number 4. Yeah, number 4. You have quarterback Anthony Richardson from University of Florida going to the Colts. Number 5, we have cornerback Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois going to Seattle. At number 6, we have offensive tackle Parrish Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State going to Arizona Cardinals. And he's the second Ohio State player out of the top 6 drafted so far. Number 7, Tyree Wilson, defensive end out of Texas Tech going to the Raiders. Number 8, running back Bijan Robinson out of University of Texas going to the Atlanta Falcons. Might be the steal of the draft, maybe Jalen Carter, defensive tackle out of Georgia going to the Philadelphia Eagles. And number 10, and this burned me up because I really wanted my team to pick this guy. Offensive tackle,
my beloved
Darnell Wright out of Tennessee going to the Bears.
My beloved.
Now, bruh, let me tell you what was crazy to me, right? So there's a quarterback, I think, T, correct me if I'm wrong, his name is Will Levis out of Kentucky. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Okay, so Will Levis was projected to be a top 10 pick, right? And when it comes to the NFL draft, usually the top 10 picks, those are the guys who are who physically go to the draft. If you're not within the first round or something like that, a lot of them, they just sit by the phone and they find out, or by watching TV or something like that, they find out if they got drafted. But if you're predicted to be a high draft pick, you usually physically go to the NFL draft, and the top draft picks, they get more money than, they get a higher rookie contract than the rest of the people, right? So Will Levis is there, and he was almost, I guess, seemed like promised that he would be within the top 10 picks, and he didn't get picked. And it was crazy because they kept putting the camera on him. Now, he's physically there, and they going pick after pick after pick, and he's sitting there, and he didn't get picked. They putting the camera on him, his father hugging him. I mean, he held it together, but I could tell he was hurt. And it wasn't funny to see, but it's just like, wow, it's like they boost you up and you just really never know if you're going to get picked. And that was just like such a surprise. And it was kind of crazy to see. I don't really remember seeing nothing like that or them focusing on it that much. And of course, so the next day, of course, he didn't come back. So the media made a hype of it. But it was crazy. It was a little sad. I mean, even though he going to the NFL, it's dope he got drafted. But I guess when you have a certain expectation and, all your colleagues are getting picked and you sitting there in the seat and you not getting picked, I'm sure that, he felt the way with that.
Did anybody pick him up?
He got picked up. Yeah, he got picked up. Okay. He went the second round. He went
the first pick of the second round.
Yeah. So, he got picked up.
So what I found out about first round and second round picks is that I don't know if it's specifically, no, it's not. So when you get picked in the first round, the team can hold you for 4 years and then give you the 5th year option, right? So they could franchise you. Now, the upside of getting picked in the second round is you getting less money up front, but you only got to wait 4 years. Then you can re-up. So if his upside is what people think that it is, he could potentially get a bigger bag sooner than the first round picks. I didn't know that until I heard the NFL Network talk about that, because people were very surprised that he did not go in the first round, as you said. But they only got to wait 4 years. If you're in the first round, you got to potentially wait 5 years.
So he has to perform, though. You still got to perform.
Of course. So if he gets with the right team, with the right quarterback coach and the right system, who knows? Who knows? We'll see.
Now, he's going I think he's going to Tennessee.
That's what I was going to say. Tennessee Titans. And
Tannehill not going to stay. Yep.
When something like that happens, that should just build more motivation for you to show people, like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's how y'all feel. So, he's still in a blessed situation regardless. But y'all know that.
I'm sorry, I misquoted. He went the second pick of the second round. Second pick
of the but he did go to the.
But he went to Tennessee.
He went to Tennessee.
Okay, so perfect. So that's a nice spot. That's not really nobody's. We know Tennessee has a good team.
Yeah, but he's not guaranteed to start, but
Yeah, we'll see, because Tannehill not really, fulfilling his obligations. But go ahead, I got you. You're right. He might.
So it was big news that Lamar Jackson, who is the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens,
hey, the man.
He was in the news a lot because it was time for him to come up on negotiations for his contract. And what he did was something that I don't know if it's ever been done or is rarely done. And he didn't use an agent. So there was speculation that, that Baltimore wasn't going to re-sign him. People were saying that he was stupid for negotiating his own contract. It was just so much said about that happening. But what ended up happening is he did get signed with Baltimore for 5 years, $260 million, $52 million a year, $185 million guaranteed. And today I actually saw him spoke, man, and he spoke so intelligent, man. They was asking him about, how he felt about it. He was like, it's no feeling, it's business. He said, when you learn to take the emotion out of business, then it just is what it is, man. He just spoke real intelligent about his situation. And do y'all think that players will start doing this more, or you think it was just a one-off type?
I think they will do more. Go ahead, Trey.
No. So in a league with more than 2,000 players, he's one of only 17 currently acting as their own agent. But he was the biggest one acting as his own agent. So Baltimore's thing was, they're like, yo, it's not that we don't mess with you, but the last 2 years you went out with the injury. Right? But he also was the MVP. And then what messed the game up was that desperate owner from the Browns who gave Deshaun Watson money like he won 10 Super Bowls. Right? So Lamar's like, yo, he was never close to the MVP. I was. Y'all need to pay me. But luckily, he ended up coming to an agreement with them. The man got his money. He saved what, 15%, which is about a couple mil that he would have paid an agent. He stuck to his guns and he learned from it, and he got paid. Go ahead, AJ. Do your thing.
I think there's a lot of lessons that were learned from this. Number one, control your narrative. Everybody had a preconceived notion of this gentleman that got the job done. Anybody would have folded if they would have paid attention to what others that have no interest or influence on the dealings of negotiations or business. But everybody became an expert overnight, had negative things to say about a gentleman.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, I would love for these people that said all these negative things about this young man to eat their words, apologize, and be men and women and stand up and say, hey, give it to him. Not, breeze over it. This gentleman stood tall. He negotiated his own contract, took his fate in his own hands. I think us as people need to start doing that. Understand our value, understand our worth, be bold enough to do what no one else is doing, because on the other side of comfort is success. And he showed that, because you know how many people must have been in his ear, and he still stayed firm. And it was him and his mom. And he said, no, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. They put that franchise label on him. Yes. Nope, this is what we're doing. The media went crazy over him. All these agents are like, guess what? Now they're on notice, because why do we need you?
Right. Why do I need you?
And this was right there after Jalen Hurts' deal was finalized.
Yes.
So, there's, and bless Jalen Hurts, he's doing it himself. He has representation. I think his representation is not the typical representation, which I like to see.
He has a female. He has a female agent.
He has a woman doing it. So I like the fact that there's, if you want, like, again, if you want others to handle your fate or your destiny, you have that much trust, by all means. But there are other ways. If you want to take the risk, you want to take the chance and learn the business, learn the game as you should, this is a viable option. And I have to salute him because he did it.
Nah, that's super dope. What was you going to say, T-Street?
As far as other players, will they follow suit and represent themselves? I'm sure it'll happen. It will increase over time, but it's not overnight. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Nah. The agents they do a lot for some players, not all, for some, but especially for like the top picks, and then the big stars that's coming on their max deals, or not really max, whatever they call it in the NFL. So over time, you will see it more so from the younger guys, because the vets, they'll stay status quo unless they're hip. Because everybody's not aware that, I'm sure everybody's not aware that Lamar had his mom as his representation. That's in the league. Veterans in the league know the stories have been out there in the news, but people are in their own world. They're not paying attention, so some don't even know. You'll see the young guys do it more and more, other than the vets, in my opinion.
No, for sure.
And just for the young lady, her name is Nicole Lynn. She basically at that time negotiated the highest paid quarterback with a record 5 years, $255 million contract. That was dope. That was dope.
Well, the last thing and the last thing that we're gonna touch on with sports is Tank Davis, fought Ryan Garcia, and Ryan Garcia was most people should know Tank Davis. He's a highly touted boxer, a champion out of Baltimore, Maryland, and Ryan Garcia. I don't have much information on him, but I just know that he got super popular through social media. Yep. He's very quick, very talented. I just don't think he's ready at this time, maybe in the future. But he actually got KO'd by Tank Davis. And this was, what was this, last week?
That was
last weekend?
About
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay, yeah. So he took the L. A lot of people, it was some people that thought he was going to win, but I mean, I figured Tank was going to win, and he did his thing. He hit him with a liver shot. Some people, a lot of professional boxers are saying that Ryan Garcia gave up. So they're saying even though it was a liver shot, some people can fight through a liver shot. I don't know nothing about it because I ain't never got hit that hard in my liver.
No. Listen, let me clear something up right now. As a man that enjoys boxing and has boxed once or twice in his life, he didn't give up. He couldn't breathe. Bro. It reminded me of, did y'all ever see De La Hoya get cracked by Hopkins with the
Yeah,
body shot.
that's what. Yeah.
The body
Listen,
shot.
the body shot that made that man roll around on the ground crying like the bee that he is. Beta male. I dislike everything about this individual. No, he deserves all of it. Let me tell you, all the Floyd hate, all the always trying to question everybody, and all the that's why Canelo left his ass. He wasn't even supportive of Ryan Garcia. Listen, Ryan Garcia did a wonderful job of promoting himself to a fight he didn't deserve to be in. He did not deserve to be in. He is a YouTuber, essentially, an Instagram model that happens to box. Kind of like Anthony Joshua, but I digress. He's no boxer. He's not a boxer. He's not a killer. Listen, Tank Davis is a killer.
Tank Davis is
Listen, and he's from around the way from Baltimore, and we all know how Baltimore goes. Yep. So salute to everybody in Baltimore. You have a fantastic representation of the city. Good dude. He's only going to get better. We just got to make sure we protect them under all circumstances and costs.
And shout out to Ryan Garcia because I really feel like he just wasn't ready. Yeah. But he definitely has a skill set. You know what I mean? And I think if he builds on this, I think he could be great too, man. It's just about putting in the work.
The weight also played a part.
Definitely.
The weight clause, like the negotiation. But shout out to Tank and his team for negotiating the right contract.
Let me shout out real fast. Tank's story.
Yes.
Tank's coach, right? So
you a little low, Chick T.
Okay, I got you.
There you go.
So his story, bro, real fast. If people that are listening or will be listening in the future are not familiar with the Baltimore poverty issue, where it's basically what you saw on The Wire was the closest thing to a lot of these neighborhoods, not all of them. Tank Davis is from one of those neighborhoods where at a very small age, his coach took to him when he came to the gym with a couple other kids. Well, excuse me, Bronner found him and then took him to Coach Calvin at the age of 8, right? The rest of the kids that would come and fight with him at the gym stopped coming to the gym. His coach Calvin, who served 10 years in prison, right? He would take this kid. He saw something with this kid. He knew his mother had a drug problem. He would take this kid to the gym, train him during the day, take him with him to his job at night so he could stay away from the streets at night, let him sleep at his job, right? Then make sure he got to school. Same thing every single day. Stay with this kid. Now he's the champion of the world. He's the face of boxing. It's one of the best. And it's a 10,000 boxing stories just like that. But that just shows you if you get with the right person, they can unlock something in you that you didn't even know that you had. And look at Tank now. He's undefeated. He's killing.
Yeah, but that shows that
is he really the face though?
Yeah. Champion.
Face, bro.
The face.
He's the face for real?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, right now,
I would say
that. Who did T?
I don't think so.
Who?
I don't think there's one. He has the buzz right now. I don't think there's a face of boxing right now.
The only reason. So the only reason I say that when I say the face of boxing, I just mean right now in terms of who's doing more numbers than him when it comes to you know what I'm saying, like who's drawing the most people. So that's the only reason I say that because when it comes to Tank Davis, people love knockouts and he's the knockout king.
Baby
he's the
Tyson.
biggest draw right now. I mean, who else? Who's the biggest draw other than him right now?
He has a loss in his future. He has a loss in his future if he doesn't improve his boxing skill. There's one guy out there. There's one guy out there I think can take him today.
Who's that?
Please don't say Haney. Please don't, bro.
Nah. Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur Stevenson?
I knew he was going to say it.
It ain't Haney.
I would like to see that. I would like to see that fight.
Out.
And my man Shakur trained out of Alexandria, Virginia. Salute to him because he's a talent. That would be a good fight to see. Yeah, that would be a good fight to see. I would definitely. We would have to see that live. I would not watch that on TV. I had to see that live.
But who has? This is my only thing where I like Shakur. He's undefeated. But who has he fought? And how many? You know what I mean? And Tank is active. Tank taking everybody.
True.
He's laying your face off. He's taking your face off. Just like Nicolas Cage said. He wants his face off. So I'm just saying, I don't think Shakur can handle that work. See, I want to see the fight though. I want to see the fight.
Nah, that'd be dumb.
I seen Shakur from his after like his first fight, after his fifth fight, like his sixth fight was the first time I saw him.
I think Shakur. I think Shakur just said he'll fight him, right, on IG.
Of course.
He said he'll fight everybody.
Wanted that payday.
Yeah, he'll fight anybody. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's been calling out everybody since he was 5-0. When he won his fight to go 6-0, he called out the champion, and I forgot which weight class he was in at the time, but he called out the champion after 5 fights. And I'm like, hold on, this kid is crazy. And then he ended up getting it.
Good.
Maybe. Yeah, he got his fight 10 fights later and knocked dude out.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
Nah, Shakur put them hands on you, bro.
Well, in other news, man, this is sad but progressive. So, if for those who don't know, Jamie Foxx is a well-known African-American actor. He's also an R&B artist. What else does Jamie Foxx do? He do a
lot of the
comedian,
actor,
right,
director,
all of that, right,
producer,
writer,
all around
everything.
Great guy.
So Jamie Foxx had something happen medically to him, and it hasn't been really put out exactly what happened publicly. But I'm gonna just read. This is from The Guardian of what happened. But he made a statement recently, and he's thanking everybody. So since Jamie Foxx has released his first public statement since his hospitalization, nearly 3 weeks ago for unknown medical complication. He says, appreciate all the love, feeling blessed. The Oscar-winning actor posted on Instagram along with praying hands, heart, and Fox emoji, which is actually good because he's been in the hospital for like 3 weeks. It says the 55-year-old was reportedly taken ill on the Atlanta set of the Netflix comedy Back in Action. Fox's daughter, Corinne, announced her father's hospitalization on the 12th of April. And after she said that, there was a lot of speculation on did he have a stroke? Was it an aneurysm? So far, no one really knows exactly what happened, but people are putting out saying that that there's a lot of
yeah, I hear you.
You went out.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, you went out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, we just want to, send our prayers to Jamie Foxx. We don't know him personally, but he feels like he's somebody that you feel like and you never want to see anybody, go through anything terrible, whatever. But
that's our guy,
this next thing, right, is I don't know. I think about AG when I don't know why when I see this type of stuff, right? So J.P. Morgan Chase takes over First Republic as the biggest U.S. bank failure since 2008. It says J.P. Morgan acquired all of the First Republic's deposits and a substantial majority of assets. The acquisition came after regulators took possession of First Republic, resulting in the third failure of an American bank since March. First Republic set off new wave of concern last month with the revelation that it's lost more deposits than expected in March. Please translate this to me, AG.
All it is that they didn't balance their books. They put too much emphasis, or they didn't manage their portfolio enough to where they have enough to cover if everybody would leave or cover whatever they owe, right? All that means is big bank take little bank.
Big bank take little bank.
Like, if I can really summarize it, because a lot of it honestly is a con game. And I know T put this on a chat as well. Once you understand that a lot of this stuff is just a con, then you can really understand it, because they try to make it very complicated, but it's very simple. They made investments in things that didn't pan out because the interest rates are going up and they can't balance their books accordingly. And there's not confidence by the people that are banking with them that they're doing a good job and they can yank their money. They yank their money. Ooh, it's a problem. So they can't pay back the problem, because what people don't realize is banks take your money and they invest it.
And they invest it.
And they make money off of your money. So not only are they buying these houses that you are actually buying, quote unquote, and you really don't own until you actually sell them.
You own it.
Until you actually pay it off. and you have these great interest rates, but really you're paying the bank almost double whatever the house is worth through interest. But I digress. Ultimately, what it is a good hustle. I can appreciate the hustle. And now, just like you're seeing, you got to respect the jokes. It's all a hustle. The same way that you're seeing these banks being taken over, you will be seeing companies taken over in the next 2 quarters. Absolutely. A lot of these companies are funny. They don't have the savings account. They don't have the money. They're not liquid. All their leverage. They have a lot of debt, and they don't have a way to pay the debt. Namely, to think, what is this, May 4th? Come June, if we don't take care of this debt ceiling that United States has a problem with their debt, we're going to have a problem. Because
and they actually are going to raise the interest rate another 0.5 point.
Yeah, they already did that.
0.25.
They a quarter. They already raised it.
0.25.
And the whole reason is because they're trying to cut off inflation.
They're trying to cut it off.
But let me tell you something. These people told you what they were doing when the time was good. When everybody was making money hand over fist 2 years ago, a year ago, I was saying, look, I see what they're about to do. They want to stave off inflation. They see what happened, what's happened in Argentina. They saw what's happened in Venezuela. They're seeing in other countries where inflation is going crazy. We got to raise these rates. A lot of people didn't diversify. They didn't see the writing on the wall. They tried to ride out the wave too long. A lot of the banks are the first ones to fall. All those assets these banks have and everything, they shouldn't be in this position, yet they are. JP Morgan is caking up. All these other companies, they're just going to make money hand over fist because they're essentially paying these banks pennies on a dollar over rumors and unsubstantiated just nonsense. You know what I mean? But It is what it is. And guess what? There's going to be other banks to replace it. There's going to be smaller people coming out. And that's just the way of the game. You know what I mean? It's just, it's just the hustle, man. It's really what it is. You just got to make sure you don't get caught up in that hustle.
Yeah, to add on to AG's point, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, they agreed to absorb most of the losses on the mortgages and commercial loans and that JP Morgan is getting, as well as providing JP Morgan a $50 billion credit line.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Now, we already said that JP Morgan bought the assets from First Republic. It was bought in an auction. Well, actually, let me air quote this. It was bought in a bank merger. That's what they're spinning it as. Basically for pennies on the dollar. Yeah. And JP Morgan, it will add $500 million profit annually to their already to the already leading giant in the industry. Now, the assumption is the banking system is fine now.
Right.
That's what the Fed chair Jerome Powell said yesterday in his talks when he gave the when he let the people know that he was raising the interest rate 0.25%. But this merger, the merger had President Biden under pressure over the weekend because of his stance on mergers, period. Back in July of 2021, Biden signed an executive order calling for greater scrutiny on mergers. But the banking merger went through quickly because the U.S., they have to keep the appearance that the banking system is strong.
That everything is strong so you can invest.
Go ahead, AG.
No, I need to add on to that, T. Please keep in mind that as we're doing this about our banking system, inflation, all the stock market devaluing, companies devaluing, let's not forget that the U.S. dollar is taking a beating. And there are wolves at the door because BRICS and other people like that are aiming at us specifically. They don't want to fool with us too much. They don't want us on deals anymore. They don't like that we bullied ourselves into position. And now the ones we bullied or the country bullied, now they're coming back and attacking us in a financial way. So they had to do this because the other would be the bailout. You know what I mean? And that happened back in 2007, 2008, when the market crashed because of the bad loans happened. So they can't have that because then they're like, well, taxpayers are the ones that funded that. Banks made record amount of numbers on profit, and the people were shafted essentially because we paid for this and they weren't lending money. So listen, this ain't going to end well. Along with this debt ceiling, that doesn't look. If this was a company, I wouldn't invest in this company. There's a lot of shady shit going on.
Now, AG said that more banks will, go under. Okay. Now, yesterday, The stock market closes at 4 p.m. on a normal day. Yesterday, after 4, there were 5 banks. The stock price just dropped. You got Pacific West Bancorp stock dropped 56%. You have Western Alliance Bank stock dropped 38%. I'm not going to name the other 3, but the other 3 dropped between 7 and 10%, all after hours yesterday. So, the first 2 was Western Alliance and Pacific West Bancorp. Those are the 2 favorites to be the next bank to collapse.
Yep. It's real. It's real out here. It's real. And you would never think. You would have never thought that this would be happening the way it is. It's domino effect. But, the house is burning and someone's saying everything is fine and it's not. We can't show weakness. But, I mean, this stuff was done a year, 2, 3, 4 years ago. This is not things that they're doing wrong now. This is just, hey, business is business, champ. And trust me, these CEOs are definitely having good compensation packages. There's something that they're negotiating.
Yeah.
They're getting paid.
The golden parachutes?
Yeah, everybody, like if you're in a C-suite or you're connected, you're getting a payout. You're definitely getting a payout. But the people who are affected are the people who are working, because you're going to have overlapping positions. You don't need X amount of people doing the exact same job.
Job cuts.
And mind you, again, the U.S. government said, hey, guys, we got to take off this inflation. Unemployment is too low. Y'all spending too much money. Y'all making too much money. They're doing this on purpose. They're ruining people's lives for the sake of staving off inflation, because you have to think about it. The needs of the few do not outweigh the needs of the many. The needs of the many outweigh the few. So they're willing to cut off an arm to sustain the body. And that's exactly what they're doing. So I don't see this slowing down until we get to 8% unemployment. And we're at record lows right now.
True.
And that's a marker, because if people are getting paid too much and people still are employed, even though it's wild out here with the violence and the crime and the stealing and everything, people are still eating. People are still making money, even though everything is expensive. They got it. It's a seesaw effect. Something's got to give.
True. Well, I got a good little story, man.
Hey.
This is dope, man. There's a New Orleans senior that earned $9 million in college scholarships.
God.
And the offers are still coming in as he got a 4.98 GPA. I didn't know it goes higher than 4.0.
I was just about to say
how much I know, but damn, he got 4.98. God damn. But he received a whopping 25 acceptances so far. Yep. So it says a 16-year-old from New Orleans.
16.
Been offered more than $9 million in scholarships. Says his name Dennis Barnes. It says he's in his final year of high school, and despite his age, the 200 colleges across the country, I guess, offered him scholarships.
200.
Says wherever he goes.
Deals.
What?
Yeah,
it says wherever
this is
he
not
goes.
NIL. This is not sports.
Expand
This is
that
not
T.
sports.
Expand that T. That's what I wanted to say. That this is somebody that's not bouncing a ball or throwing a ball around. This is through intelligence.
For sure. And that's why this is an important story that needs to be shared.
Talk about it.
And
right.
it says he plans to pursue a dual degree in computer science and criminal justice. The bright student has not yet decided on which college he will attend, but he will announce it next Tuesday. That is a great story, man. I love to hear shit like this because there's so much negative stuff that we could talk about. Unfortunately, there's a lot of negative in the world to talk about. But when you see a story like this, it's just inspiration. And T said it, man, he's not doing it because he's playing basketball and rapping. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that. Not saying there's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's just dope to see people of color do something else, man. And I'm sure it's more stories like his. His is just being highlighted, and I think it's I just think it's dope, man. I love to give a little blurb about something positive, but I got something funny. Unless y'all had something else to say about that.
Hold on one second.
Do you think?
Look at this. So with almost 200 colleges, the scholarships totaling $9 million. Right? He broke the Guinness World Records for scholarships The previous highest record was 8.7 million, set by another student from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's in New
Right?
What is
Orleans?
up in New Orleans, man? God
Yo,
bless.
see, but that's what I'm saying. It's Cash Money Records, and it's goddamn.
Master P.
You feel what I'm
no
saying?
limit, yeah.
And it's Lil Wayne, right?
Yeah,
But
they bought it down there.
and they
Bought it for
but you
real.
don't hear nothing about these people setting records
You don't,
as
bro.
young people
Mhm.
with their mind, bro. You know what I mean?
Nah,
So
that's super dope.
I just wanted to, just shout that out.
Let's give him a quick little
Yeah.
round of applause, man.
Exactly.
I think that's dope, man.
Nah,
I think
damn.
that's dope, man.
Nah, man.
So
good.
hey, look, I was just pressed to use that since I
Yeah.
loaded.
That was no day.
Hey, I just wanted to use that joke,
bro. I like that.
But in other news right now, I saw this joke. This joke crazy to me, bro. So it say GOP councilman announces that he identifies as a lesbian woman of color, angering the LGBT activists. Right?
Yeah.
So it says a GOP councilman in Indiana has announced that he now identifies as a woman of color and a lesbian. But critics say that they believe that he is just being insincere and mocking the marginalized people by doing so. So he says, I think this is what he says. He says, it is with great relief that I announce to everyone
great relief
that I identify as a woman, and not just any woman, but as a woman of color. Well, I guess this would make me gay, lesbian as well, since I'm attracted to women. Phew, that felt good to finally get.
Oh my goodness,
to finally get out there and start living my life as my true self. I'm excited to bring some diversity to the Cali Council. Where until today, we didn't have any females of color on the council. I'm glad now we do. This crazy to me because
I don't know if
it sounds like it sounds like he's
he's
trolling
the system. He's trolling, like
he's trolling, bro.
And it's like when you put the mirror on them, they don't like it.
Nah, they don't.
It's like, well, I'm doing exactly the same thing you're doing. What's the difference? And it's usually quiet.
Listen to this headline. It says, and this is okay. It says white people claiming Cherokee Nation membership. White people claiming Cherokee Nation membership awarded $300 million in government contracts. So all I have to do is identify. All I have to do is tell you, nah, what you mean? Nah, I'm a white woman.
That's crazy though.
I'm a white woman. What you talking about? Right? And I'm in this group. It's all just like we talked about, it's all some type of move which is going to benefit you. If I can identify with you, I say I'm with them. I can say, hey, since I'm with them, I can get the same perks.
Wow.
That's what it is, bro.
Hey,
it's a game.
This is funny. This is comedy. I'm telling you. And it's not really because of him, or I'm sorry, it's not really because of her beliefs about herself. It's not,
bro.
It's all about
the
LGBTQ plus community. Man, on Twitter, they are going crazy. It's a house divided for real. Man, the white man is back to his old tricks, divide and conquer.
That's exactly what it is. They're like, oh, we weren't going to come back. Huh? Yeah. Let me show you something.
He tried to use what they do against them,
man.
just to, just to mess with us.
And honestly, that's facts. Why is the difference when you do it versus they do it? And they're like, oh, what? Because you're not going by logic, because it's not rooted in truth or logic. Let's be honest. You're rooting it in a way of that can't be necessarily proven because you're dealing with opinion and not fact. I'm not saying that you're not who you are inside, but that's not who you are Really?
Exactly. And to say that you identify, I mean, if that's the case, I can say that I'm anybody. I can say I identify as, I mean, it's like that doesn't.
You can be LeBron the James. It's
okay.
Exactly.
Hey, but you gonna stop calling on my man like that, bro.
Or you can be, Ghostface from the Hulu Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? If you choose.
Or look, if that's the case, if that's the case,
a guy can say, I am LeBron the James.
A guy, that means a guy can go up, right, and say, and go into the female's bathroom and say, hey, y'all, I know I'm disturbing y'all, but I just want y'all to know, identify as a white woman. Please let me use the bathroom. And then you use the bathroom. And but that's what it's come to. It's like anybody can just say anything, bro. And that's just.
Well, when you start allowing lies to be true, that's what you expect. You know what I mean? You have to be truthful. It's very dangerous because you open up the door.
To everything.
You gotta, like, if we go by first principles, if we go by logic, we go by fact, then that resolves everything. There's rules on purpose. This was done for a reason. You know what I mean? You can identify as you identify, but that doesn't mean that you can create life. You're kind of jumping in and calling yourself something that you're not necessarily. No. I understand you believe to be and allowed to do so. You're not going to be persecuted. But don't come and act a certain way when the truth of the matter or the true person of that are there, because you're taking away from them.
Yeah, and it's one thing to say it,
their plight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, women of color have it rough. Don't make it about you narcissistic pig. Worry about what you're doing by your choices.
Yeah, it had to be a joke. Yeah, he had to be joking or just trying to be funny.
But he's sticking to it though.
But I'll tell you one thing though, it's just like that dudes that dress up like women and identify as women and get on the wrestling team and start beasting out, and then that's a problem.
You know what I mean? or fight someone. You say you're a woman, you identify as a woman.
Oh man,
you fight a woman, you're way stronger than her. And I got
super.
And those are there's extreme circumstances, but we have to be honest. These things are happening. Let's not be confused about it. Again, allow people to do as they feel. More power to you. This is a free country. You're not going to be persecuted.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to judge you.
Absolutely.
But don't force make-believe stuff on others.
On me.
And don't let what you identify affect others. It's one thing. It affects others when you put action behind certain things. You know what I mean?
100%.
I just don't. I'm not feeling that, but
man,
that's the world.
And it shouldn't be attack mode. We shouldn't be arguing about that when we got real issues going on.
For sure,
with safety, with the economy, with the quality of life. How we're living.
Hey, that's a good segue, AG, into this next joint. Now, this was interesting to me, right? So this is from CNN Health. I don't know what's going on with me. So it says it's a crisis in nursing. A crisis in nursing is upon us. Nursing survey shows even after the pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna read a little bit of it, and it says, as this, I guess is the lady speaking, says, as an emergency room nurse, Terry Foster has cared for people on their worst days. He loves his work, and as president of the Emergency Nurses Association, a group that represents about 50,000 nurses, he's met countless others who share similar commitment to helping others, but he noticed concerned about the future of his profession. He said, I've worked in the emergency department 45 years, and you're not going to hear people say that again. I don't think you're going to see that kind of tenure, he said. Says something changed with the COVID-19 pandemic, Foster said. The changes among the many captured in the 2023 survey of registered nurses from the AMN Healthcare, a nurse staffing company. The biannual survey of 18,000 nurses published Monday points to what AMN Chief Clinical Officer Dr. Cole Edmondson called a perfect storm of problems for the profession that could leave the U.S. healthcare industry without nurses and its needs. The survey, which was also conducted in January, shows a group of professionals who care very much about their work, but it also shows a significant decline in work satisfaction and significant increase in stress levels. Many are thinking about leaving the profession, right? And so the crazy thing is what this is saying is that further in the article, it's saying that I guess since the pandemic, there was so many people that had to be cared for. But what it says in the article is that patients are getting more physical with the nurses.
Yep.
And that's crazy to me.
That's
and they don't really
And
have
family.
that. But then I don't know what the reason for it is happening. Where
anxiety, bro. It's, like you see this stuff all the time with airplanes. They're fighting stewardesses or they're fighting the flight personnel every day. You're seeing a fight or a shooting every day because everybody's gone crazy. We just don't realize it yet. Anxiety's through the roof.
I didn't think about
loneliness epidemic that's going on right now. Like we're not doing well. You know what I mean? The suicide rates are crazy. Kids have anxiety. Everybody's on some type of pill just to get through the day. And that's a recipe for disaster. Everybody's on edge when literally no threat is there yet. There's no threat. That's what's amazing about it. But, when you get everybody locked down, you tell them that they're going to almost die just from breathing air, that if you get this
and they believe you.
And then you get this vaccination, you can't spread it, because that was actual fact. That was something that everybody's like, oh, we could take the masks off now. You just get this injection and you're good. Everybody's not trusting the next person. They're not trusting their neighbors. They're not trusting the government. They're not trusting the financial system. They think everybody's out to get them. That's why you're seeing a rise in shootings. The nurses everybody that was going to go into nursing is going to go into another profession. Why that's important to know is because this country is aging. The baby boomers, who are a majority of the population, they have the large chunk of the population, are going to require more care, medical care, assisted living care. Social Security is probably going to go under in the next 5 or 10 years because there's not enough people working to support these people that are about to retire. This is a perfect storm. And I say this, Ecuador is lovely. Colombia is lovely. Malaysia has awesome healthcare. Start looking at other places. Have your plan B, because this ain't doing good.
It says that it says research has shown that nurses who are satisfied with their work typically stay on the job, but only 63% of millennials and 62% of Gen Zers said that they were satisfied with their career choice, as opposed to 78% of baby boomers.
Listen, that trend started.
People.
That trend started like 20 years ago. When I was in my early 20s, and my mother was telling me, "You need to stay at your job, stay at there. Make sure you need to do what you need to do. Stop acting up. Stop missing work, because you need to be there 20, 30 years so you can retire." During that time, the shift was already changing, where people were jumping from job to job to job. Now today, like you said in the article, that 45-year career, that's not happening.
It's not.
It's not. And
not,
also, according to the American Association of Colleges of Nursing Schools, turned away nearly 92,000 qualified applications of prospective students or graduate nursing programs in 2021. The number was the highest in decades, and primarily due to capacity issues, including insufficient clinical sites, classroom space, faculty, and clinical preceptors. Unfortunately, the salaries for faculty roles aren't that competitive. Actually, traveling nurses make way more. The shortage in nursing faculty directly affects the number of nurses to fill future demand. So just like you all said, you got a bunch of people that's near retirement. But who is coming and filling these jobs?
I'll tell you who. I'll tell you exactly who. They're going to start recruiting people from other countries. You're going to see nurses from other countries. I promise you. The great American dream. Yeah, the great American dream is going to be, hey, come to the United States of America, where we have money coming from everywhere. You can get paid triple whatever you're getting paid. You're in the United States. We need you. Come on over. And they'll be getting paid less than the people that are currently working now. So what do you think is going to happen to the people that are working now? They're going to be overpaid. They're going to try to squeeze them out. I'm telling you, it is what it is. It's business. And that's going to be the solution.
It says hospitals could face the most instability, right? Only 15% of hospital nurses say that they will continue in the same job in 1 year, the survey found. That's crazy because I mean, I'm sure being a nurse is already stressful, but nurses are needed and they probably don't feel appreciated. I'm sure they feel overworked and underpaid.
Yes.
And it's just one of those situations. And it's a situation where if you're not sick and you don't have to go to the hospital or get a lot of doctor care, you probably don't feel it. But you're going to feel it when it's something that if you become sickly or somebody that needs a nurse all the time and they telling you they don't have them, or the nurse you have is real nasty and rude, but you can't switch out because they don't have enough nurses. So you have to keep that nurse. People don't think about stuff like that until they actually go through it. Yep. You know what I mean? So I don't really know a solution for that, to be honest.
They're going to start bringing them over. I'm telling you, the solution is going to be the problem. You're going to start bringing people in from other countries and droves. Yeah, and they're going to overwork them. And it's opportunity because, like, we started off this conversation talking about the come up. There could be people that are not just in a great circumstance where they are, and this is a great opportunity, right? It's all about perception. It's all about leverage. It's all about where you stand to make on that deal. This could be something that could be beneficial for you, where you're working 12-hour days elsewhere, making pennies on a dollar, which you can make here. And now they're going to start attracting that. They're going to start advertising it. Similar. Now, let's not forget, this is exactly what happened in the tech industry when we started recruiting all the people, or the coding, or the programmers, because we didn't have enough qualified people in the US of A. So their work visas were sped up, and they were allowed to come here and get paid more than what they were making back home, but less than what you will pay someone here. So it's a win-win.
True.
But the crazy thing, go ahead.
No, it's just, go ahead, T.
Now, I was going to say, the crazy thing, we're talking about this now. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to my physical therapist about the very same topic. And she was telling me how the hospital understaffed nurses, the med techs, the physical therapists and the occupational therapists in the hospitals and in the individual practices. She was telling me all these things a couple of weeks ago because a few people from that office had just left. And she was just talking about how they're understaffed, and we was talking about that. And furthermore, to go back to where the study says basically they're talking about after COVID. Let's forget about the survey for a second. The outbreak itself was scary, stressful for everybody.
Yes.
Just imagine if you had to work in the Just imagine if you had to work in that environment.
Yep.
So it makes sense. It makes sense that people don't want to stay in there.
Nope.
Hell no. They had to go in where everybody was sick. They the ones. Everybody home. They the ones that's working. I can't even imagine that.
It was bad for them.
I just watched something on China about a month ago about like how like you mandatory working, like you like these people getting like 5 hours, and that's a lot of hours for just sleeping. The rest of it, we need you here. And it was mandatory. If you didn't do it, your ass wasn't going to have a job.
Nope.
Right? And so once you clock in to be a nurse, you're going to be on the clock mandatory 12 hours. That's minimum. So it's not just here. It's stress globally. But just like T was saying, it was already a problem, but the pandemic just exacerbated the actual problem that was already there.
Yep.
Right? So then the hospitals have to turn a profit. Because this is all business. It's all business, baby. That's why you have so many damn pill crises going on everywhere. That's a whole other pod. Right. How you have a certain small population in West Virginia. I watched. They pumped 5 times the amount of the population full of pills. They want to get you hooked on it, but that's a whole other thing. Plus, you got a pandemic. It's all money driven. It's just like AG was saying, they're going to bring in people that's going to do it for less, and I can work you longer, and I make more money. Somebody's going to win out of this. Somebody is. I'm sorry. E, go ahead, E.
Wait till they get AI to come in and replace.
The AI, AI doctor, the robot doctors, the robot doctors.
Come on, you see what AI? You see AI? They've been. But you know what? What I think is they're going to start making some rules with the AI, because you see how. For those who don't know, AI is what that stands for artificial intelligence, I guess.
Intelligence.
And so, I don't know in detail what it is, but what I do know, it seems like the AI can impersonate people's voices, and they got it where they impersonate rappers and can rap like the sound just like the rapper. I don't know how far that's gonna go, and are they gonna put regulations on that? Because guess what? Somebody can say that somebody can say you confessed to a crime that you never confessed to, but they took your voice and made it sound like you and say that you did it. So that right there is scary to me because I don't know how it's going to be controlled, but it's going to have to be controlled because if you can just impersonate somebody, I just don't. That means I could call somebody, right? And I can act like I'm Trey. And I can have any type of conversation. I know I hate to use you, Trey. I hate you, but I can call somebody and act like I'm Trey. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's just like this gets crazy when it comes to that.
Listen, respect the jokes. I told my mother last weekend because the AI stuff popular. She's telling me about a song she heard. I said, listen, just be careful because soon you're going to get a call from somebody that sound like me or my brother asking for money. I said, it's going to happen soon. The scammers are going to scam. They think this AI is going to do all these cute things. No, the scammers are going to scam.
Hell yeah, that they probably on it more than anybody. But
absolutely. I mean, it's a tool. It's a tool. It's what it is. Just like the emails. Like let's not forget the Nigerian prince hustle. All the other hustles, whether it be email and what have you, and text messages, it's just another layer. There's nothing new under the sun. You just have to recognize and realize what's coming. And that is, it's a free fall. But at the end of the day, this is all virtual. If you don't participate, you don't have to worry about it. If you're not on social media, putting your stuff out there in a public format, people ain't going to rip your likeness. They're not going to rip your voice if they don't know who you are. You got to fly under the radar. You know what I mean? You just got to be smart and wise with the way you move. And honestly, just, prepare yourself because you may be impacted one way, shape, or form. So just becoming aware of, okay, now that this threat is out there, what can I do? True. You know what I mean? Lock down your shit. Make sure your password protected. Make sure you're not, just giving too much information out.
For sure. Well, we're gonna end it on that, AG. Ended it with some knowledge, man. So this concludes another dope episode. Trey, my phone is messing up, so I can't even see who joined or anything like that, bro, because it's not even showing me that.
So we got. Hold on 1 second. I was just.
Yeah, I can't hear you that good.
Yeah, he just went away. He wanted to get his iced drinks.
There we go.
Listen, so we got. Hold on. Why is? Hey T, can you see the room?
I'm not even on the app. Let me see.
We in the room. Hold on. No. We in the room. No, we here. We got who joined us? Okay, man. I'm in.
We're not showing. I'm showing Sam 33.
Yeah.
That's the only person.
I'm saying, shout out to Sam. Shout out to Sam 33. I see it. We here. And shout out to the people that's going to be listening to this tomorrow and next week. And hold on, we got a teaser. We got a teaser for next week's episode. Okay? Us as men, we're tired of the labels. We're tired of the double standard. We're putting the ladies on Front Street who cheat. We are putting the ladies on Front Street that cheat. Do you understand? It's called Unfaithful. The Rec Room After Dark. Next week, we putting y'all on Front Street. It's called Unfaithful. Women that cheat.
Well, that's gonna be a dope episode. I'm looking forward to that. I want to thank everybody who listened to this episode, who is going to listen to the episode.
Hey, sorry. So we had Dane. Dane has also entered the studio. Also Nicole Mayfield. I don't know who Nicole Mayfield is, but shout out to Dane, Nicole, and Sam 33, and anybody that's gonna be listening in the future. Thank you.
And you can catch the pod. The pod is on YouTube. It's also on Amazon Music, Spotify, Google Pods. Almost anywhere that you listen to pods, you can find our pod, the Rec Room Podcast. I say it every episode, but we're getting closer and closer to having the the episode's filmed. I showed y'all the little part that I got. So I'm super close.
Absolutely.
We're super close to having our first on-camera episode, and I'm looking forward to that. As always, if you have any questions, if you have any subjects that you would like us to talk about, let us know. Follow us on Instagram at the Rec Room Pod. And that's it. And until the next time, man.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.